Oh, where's my chat? I have no chat. I can't see you guys. Where's my chat? Hey, how you doing? I don't know why my chat's not working all of a sudden. I had to put you on pop-up chat. But now I see you. Lauren, how you doing, buddy? Can I move this around somewhere? I can't even move it around? Yeah. Let me see. There we go. Now I got you. Okay. Hey, Mike Hengen. That's a new name. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Woo! So we had an incredible night last night. The Washington Capitals and Tampa Bay Lightning game is the game I had Chicago winning that. I thought Kaner was going to bring a new energy there. Ottawa looks like they're not gelling at all. Stützle really looks terrible, but then that might have a lot to do with the fact that his center is like he has no center to play with. They need to get a center there for sure. He's playing center with Nicholas Paul. Nicholas Paul as your center. Like, what are you going to do with that? He's not the kind of guy that's going to, at this stage anyways, is just going to completely run a line. He needs a little support, and he doesn't have any there. I'd almost say play him at center with Tkachuk. He has played center, but they refuse to play him up the middle. He probably can't win draws to save his life. That's probably why, but it's not really fair to have Nicholas Paul as your second line center for a kid that is just in his second year in the league. They desperately need Pinto to get back soon, or White, or somebody, because Nicholas Paul can't play that style of game he needs to be able to do well. As far as the Chicago game, Murray is a story there. Like, Murray comes back injured. Like, they got to be really getting worried there. He's constantly being injured, and when he is in, he doesn't look good. Gustafsson is their number one, and they played against the worst team and one of the worst teams in the league, and they put Murray in. Of course, he hadn't played in a while, so it kind of makes sense that if you're going to throw him in there, throw him against Chicago. But now Gustafsson in against Minnesota, and the more I see Gustafsson, the more I see a guy that's going to play number one center or number one role as a goaltender. So Murray better get his poop together, man. Carlson is out with a broken foot. That leaves talk about that. They got Howden playing on the top line and Stevenson in the second line. Toronto's got to win that game, man. You can't lose to a team whose top two centers are Howden and Stevenson. Is Stone even in yet? I heard Stone was going to come back. No Stone still. William Carrier as their second line left winger. Wow. Peyton Krebs, Riley Smith, and Marchessault, and Brett Howden. Brett Howden can't play in the number one center role. He can barely play in a number four center role. That is really awful. If Toronto loses that game, I think it's about as bad as when they could have lost to New Jersey there, or to Chicago. Like, it's almost as bad. because that team is beat up something fierce. They've had rest. They played Detroit, won that game barely, and now you got Matthews and Tavares and all of those guys in there as their top two centers going up against Stevenson and Howden. That's an absolute gotta win, no doubt about it. Campbell, Niederreiter's out for a while, yeah. I didn't check when. I didn't refresh what the news was right now. Carlson is out, yeah. Oh my gosh. Colorado will also be without Makar tomorrow. My gosh, they can't avoid injuries. Holy crap. And Burakovsky is doubtful. They're not going to have anybody. And Johansson will start in net. Who the heck are they playing tomorrow? Columbus. Wow. How the heck did you choose that game? Colorado's got nobody in. Columbus looks really bad. They're getting saved by goaltending mostly, if they're saved at all. That is devastating. I can't believe how much they are getting absolutely shellacked. No Rantanen, no Burakovsky, no Makar. Well, it's hitting Colorado fierce. No, Johansson will be in net. So what's wrong with Kemper? If you've got that many guys out, wouldn't you play Kemper? Let's see, what do they got here? Well, at least you got Landeskog and McKinnon. Comper. That Rampo Santo kid who hasn't put up a point yet probably should be going down in the minors right now. Kaut, Jost Helm, and Megna, and Jacob McDonald. And why are they starting Johansson? Kemper's not even injured. You got that many injured? Oh, are they on a back-to-back maybe? Doesn't show that he's hurt, but maybe he is, because somebody, who was it you, John, that told me that Carlson was out and I didn't see it anywhere, and it turns out you were right, he is out. So if Kemper's out too, gosh, that is unbelievable. Yeah, I was going to see if they're on a back-to-back. Because if they're on a back-to-back, it might make sense why they would put Johansson against Columbus, depending on what team they're playing against. No, they're not. They're not on a back-to-back. In fact, they play Columbus at home, and then they play Columbus 2 days later. So Kemper's got to be hurt. Because they would definitely be playing Kemper. That is odd stuff, man. And San Jose, too. San Jose's been getting nailed something fierce. Timo Meier. San Jose's got Meier. Oh, Dahlin is coming back, but Erik Karlsson, Jacob Middleton, Matthew Nieto, Radim Semic, and Mark Edward Vlasic, all out due to COVID. And they're playing Buffalo tonight. I think Buffalo should win that game, but I really like San Jose's energy no matter who's in there. I think to them, it's like, as long as Kane's not here, we're happy. As long as Kane's not here, I'm happy. The other game. Oh, where am I? Did I delete the NHL? Huh. I just did a video on all the games yesterday. As I was saying about the Lightning and Washington, the reason why I like the Lightning is I just find it's pretty obvious they're going way too much to Ovechkin for one, Washington that is obviously, and two, Tampa Bay's playing that strong possession game that they've been known for. Finally, they're getting back to that strong possession game. Vasilevsky's looked like he's got back into stride again. And Washington is terrible against possession teams. They're not very. I don't find Washington to be very good at breaking up passes in the neutral zone and cross rink passes and stuff like that. So they can get hemmed in pretty good. Now you want to get physical with Washington, yeah, they'll beat you, but if you play a possession game, like Minnesota would have a good chance. I did have Tampa Bay winning last night, yeah. I had Tampa Bay winning last night. Actually, I was very confident that Tampa Bay would win that game last night. As you know, I'm not a Vanacek guy. I'm not a big Vanacek guy. And I'm not a Samsonov guy either. I think they have a goaltending problem in San Jose. I don't know if they had the opportunity to, but like I said in the offseason, if it was me, I would have been all over Fleury if I could get him over there. I'm going to share this out. So yeah, I thought Tampa was going to win, and they did. And Washington was tough to watch last night. Their defense is Orlov is really fallen off the map. Like he does not look good in that lineup at all. I mean, and then Jensen's looking better than Orlov right now. That's not a good thing. Jensen's one of their best defensemen this year. He's having definitely probably a career year for him, I would say. He looks pretty good. But besides that, the whole team defense doesn't look like very good at all. Carlson's Carlson. So, but there's nobody really there to prop up Carlson right now. I would go as far as to say that like their bottom half, their defensemen, I would say, are bottom half in the league. Or yeah, Fajarvi or Favari or something like that. Favari, I can't get his name out for some reason. Fairbury, I think it is. Fairbury has looked pretty darn good, but he shouldn't be playing that high in the lineup. They got him playing with John Carlson. A rookie playing with a guy that plays like Carlson, I wouldn't say that's ideal for Fairbury. Then Orlov and Jensen is making Orlov look bad. And Schultz and Van Riemsdyk are just poop. Schultz and Van Riemsdyk are just poop. It's Tampa Bay was passing around them all game. They were making them look stupid last night. The Edmonton game, the Edmonton Vancouver or the Edmonton Seattle game, if Seattle would have had somebody other than Decord in net that last night, they probably would have won that game. Talk about poor defense again. Like, we're gonna harp on this over and over again. Barry, Keith, Nurse one-on-one is a disaster for a defenseman. There's no way a guy should be beat that much one-on-one as a defenseman in the league. I was on with Peyton on the radio. I think you came in, Lauren, right? I was on with Peyton on the radio last night, and we were both saying that they should try playing him at forward, but the only problem is they have no defenseman, so they can't. So, I mean, they need a guy like Dylan or Manson. We talked about that last night. Apparently his analytics haven't been good for the past year or so. But they need a shutdown guy. If they had Slavin and Pesce on that team and just remove any two defensemen, that team would be a beast. Just that. Just them alone. Play them 30 minutes a night. Cody Ceci. Oh, God. Like, Cody Ceci actually is one of their better defensemen, which is not saying much. And Bouchard is their best. Bouchard is Edmonton's best defenseman, no doubt about it. It's unfortunate for Seattle that they had to play Joey last night against Edmonton because he didn't look good at all. The move that Yamamoto did on him, it looked really good. But all he had to do is stay in a butterfly and move just a little bit over. But he looked like he did you know when you're a kid and you go on the ice and you slide and you turn around as many times as you can? It looks like he was trying to do that but didn't do it very well. It was bad. It was bad. There were several goals he should have had last night. You know what? If you traded Draisaitl for Slavin and Pesce, I think that lineup would be better. I think as much as I would hate to lose Draisaitl for sure, but if you got Slavin and Pesce for Draisaitl, I think it would actually be better. I don't know who they would use. Put Nugent Hopkins on the second line, and then you got to find wingers. Make Nugent Hopkins the second line center and just find some wingers at the deadline or whatever. But at least you would have some defense because that lineup is getting killed. Their top six is absolutely unbelievable. It's a fantastic top six, but they're getting derailed because of defense that can't get the puck out of the zone. And once Barry and them get the puck on their stick, they're moving it not too bad, but it's getting the puck on the stick and being tough on opponents, letting people beat them one-on-one. As soon as a defenseman lets a guy beat him one-on-one, everybody's got to come back. So if the goaltender saves it, then everybody is still got to come back deep because now you're in rescue mode. So you got to get the puck, make sure you got your forwards deep so you can kind of rugby your way forward. And that's just not the way the Oilers got to play. That's not the way they're built to play. They need somebody there that can take a guy one-on-one, get the puck over to the corner, and get the puck on it first, get it out to the winger like right away, like Slavin does. Slavin's freaking amazing at it, and he doesn't even take penalties while he's doing it. But I mean, you could go down the lineup. You could take the Islanders and go with Pulock and Pelech, Boston, even Carlo, and you don't even have to go McAvoy. Like, Carlo and I don't know, somebody from Boston, but there's tons of teams out there. Like you take a pairing, Ekblad and Uyghur, Ekblad and Uyghur, like something, a combination that has a shutdown guy that can and a guy that can move the puck quick, and they just don't have it. I can't believe for the life of me that Tippett thought in his mind it was going to work putting Barrie and Nurse on the same freaking defense partner. Oh my gosh. Neither one of them can stop a guy coming one-on-one. Neither one. So if you've got, all you got to do against them is go 1-on-2, pick a side, and beat a guy 1-on-1. And then you've opened up space for a pass. And you're going to beat them. You're going to beat them. If you saw what, I can't remember who it was. It was a Seattle player anyways. He came down 1-on-1 on Barrie. And I swear to God, Barrie looked like he literally took some time to do a little jig, like like do some like river dancing, and then said, "Oh, I didn't have time for that. Shoot, I guess I shouldn't have did that." Like that's what it looked like to me. Nurse got turned inside out by Schwartz last night. Unbelievable. Anyways, there's my rant about that. But Seattle, I'll take Seattle's defense over the Oilers' defense any day of the week. Larson's probably having the best year I've seen him in his career. Alexiak is Alexiak. He's great. Like he's a very, very, very good, solid defenseman. And they're playing Larson with Lauzon, which I didn't know was going to work all that well. But it does work well, but mostly just because Larson's playing so confident. He's actually even moving the puck out all right, which when he was in Edmonton, that was a big problem for him. Boston Bruins will miss the playoffs. I think they're, I mean, if they don't fix the depth there, I think if Foligno comes back, I think they should make it in. But I mean, it's not a for sure. Well, it's a little early, I think, to check out wild card, but why not? Let's check it out. See if they'll give us a wild card look. Wild card. It's 10 games, so I guess there's enough. So right now, again, okay. Right now, you got Carolina, the Rangers, who have been just saved completely by Shesterkin. Shesterkin, to me right now, it's either Shesterkin or Anderson, I think, off the top of my head. Maybe Vasilevsky, but he's got to come around a bit yet for the Vezina. He has been absolutely saving the Rangers almost every game. For, was it Florida, Buffalo, Tampa? The wild card right now would be Columbus and Detroit because Philadelphia and New Jersey have only played 7. So is Boston. New York Islanders have only played 7, so they played 2 more games. So it's really hard to tell who would be the... In the West, let me see. In the West, it would be, just for how the heck of it, Anaheim and Nashville would be the wild card teams right now. But again, Anaheim's played 10 more games than anybody. You got to figure, or 2 more games. I say 10. They played 10 games, 2 more games than anybody. And, you got to figure injuries will come back for Colorado, for Vegas and stuff. But Anaheim has looked pretty, like they haven't given up in a game yet that I saw. The Leafs are not, no, the Leafs wouldn't be in a wild card. I think the Leafs will turn it around a bit. They'll make it. I think they'll turn it around a bit. Depending on what team you got, like I said, they got to learn how to play with these players together. But there's a lot of guys there that, like Kasha doesn't look good, Richie doesn't look good. Bunting is the only addition that I see that looks decent. So, like what Boston, Toronto's depth is what's really killing them right now. You just got to focus on the top two lines there. And you're good. I don't know why they're taking Fleury out either. He's limited in some ways. There is ways that Hayden Fleury is limited, but he scored 2 goals, and then they took him out of the lineup. I found that kind of odd. Like, if a guy scores 2 goals, you think you give him confidence. They obviously have a plan with him. Honestly, he should be in instead of Dunn. But Dunn is the only guy they have that can play that type of offensive game. Alexia Giordano, Larzon, Susie, Dunn. Yeah, I think what they're doing is they're putting Dunn and Fleury in back and forth to see if one's going to take it over the other. They're creating competition for that role, for that spot. So they're giving Dunn a fair shake. But honestly, I think that he's going to lose out. He's going to end up being a scratch here for Seattle. Alex Kerfoot's looked better lately, but he's looked about as good as Kerfoot's going to look, and that's still pretty average. Jason Spezza looks like some of the best guy on the ice sometimes out there. He just apparently can't play more than 10 or 12 minutes at his age, but... So the games tonight... You got the Golden Knights and the Leafs. The Leafs got to win that game. With no... they got to win that game. Canadians and the Wings... I don't know who's going to win that game. There's no Larkin for Detroit. I'm going to lean the Canadians because they're kind of on a high right now. But putting Caulfield down, their lineup doesn't look good. Like, neither one of these lineups look very good. And then Allen is playing poopty. I could see Greiss stealing this game. If they're playing Greiss, they may go with Nedeljkovic. Because Allen's in net, they'll probably go with Nedeljkovic. It appears Greiss is their number 1 now. But I have no idea who's going to win that. That feels like a tie to me. If they were in 2 different conferences, I would call that a tie. And I'll go into overtime. And the Flyers, their first game back after that long Western road trip, that's a little scary going against the Coyotes, who have been working very hard the last couple of games. They've been working their butt off. There is a possibility that they could outwork Philly here. But Carter Hart has looked really good, and they've got injuries. They got I can't remember now. Barrett Hayton's going to be playing number 1 tonight. The number 1 center spot. And I don't think do they have his numbers in the AHL? No, and he only had 1 assist in the AHL. My gosh. Krause, Hayton, and Keller. Yaskins, Larsons, Kessel. This lineup can't beat anybody. They're playing Dyson Mayo as their second line right winger. I still think Philly wins fairly handily. Yeah, Montreal Allen is the goaltender there, and he's not very good this year. The whole team's struggling though. It just tends to go that way. It's a snowball. A couple guys are struggling, and it just seems to snowball. And I think that's why they got Caulfield out of there. The energy is just not good in that room, and they want him to be playing in a positive environment. So I actually don't mind the move for Montreal putting Caulfield down in this with the situation that's going on there. Mike Hengen, what's your team like? What's your team, Mike? Price coming back soon? I heard that he was coming back to the team, and I think it was November 30th, like a month. It's still a month yet before he comes back. I heard he's coming back from the team, but does that mean that he's going to play like right away? I don't know. Yeah, November 30th. So they got a lot of games without Price. It's got to be a tankathon now. You're a Flames fan. Wow, okay. Well, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, they're playing Nashville. This is going to be a tough out for the Flames. Nashville, I think the Flames will win it because Nashville really survives on outworking the other team, and the Flames don't show any signs of being outworked. So that's probably not going to fly. Markstrom is playing Vezina level hockey. That's what I forgot. I mentioned Shesterkin. I mentioned Vasilevsky. I forgot about Markstrom. Markstrom is playing Vezina level hockey. And, you got Mangiapane just lighting it up. Everybody's playing a role there. Coleman looks perfect for them. And I questioned whether he was the right fit there, but he is definitely the right fit there. He's changed everything there. Like, he's like a litmus. Sutter just points to Coleman and says, try to work as hard as he does, and you won't leave the lineup. If you don't score or whatever, that's one thing. That's the way Sutter is. If you're not scoring, he's not going to take you out of the lineup. But if you're not working, like a guy like Coleman does, even if you're scoring, he'll take you out of the lineup. He's totally about that. And bringing in Lewis, I never even thought. Lewis played with LA when they won those cups. And so he was able to kind of help guys understand Sutter. He was like having another assistant coach there. And he's able to go in there and help guys understand Sutter, what he expects, what his system is like, where to, stuff like that. So it's freaking working like better than I ever thought. About the only thing I was right about Calgary was that Zadorov wouldn't make the lineup. That was about the only thing I was right about Calgary. And I really am kind of miffed at myself that I didn't, because I was always a huge Sutter fan when he was in LA. I'm kind of miffed that I underestimated Sutter and what he can do for a team. I just thought that team was so far off that not even Sutter could save him, but I was wrong. Goudreau's playing with passion. The way he sets up his lines with Lewis and Lucic, I think it's Lewis, playing with Monahan. So Monahan's hurt, or maybe he will never have the shot that he ever had before. But he's just asking him to be a two-way guy. You got to change your way of doing it and go out there and be a two-way guy with those two and try to cycle down low and keep pressure in the offensive zone. And it's a perfect combination. Lucic, if anybody's like, if anybody's banging around Monahan, Lucic is all over it. So they don't. He does it. It's building confidence that Monahan's not going to get injured again, because if anybody does anything, he's got Lucic there to take care of it. So I think I don't know if he looks worse. He's playing a different role this year. It's obvious that whatever happened with that wrist, it may not ever be back again. So he's got to learn how to be a two-way center now that might pot 10 goals or something like that. What's he got for points so far? Unless that wrist comes back and better than it was before, or at least somewhere where he can take the shots the way he used to. They got an A on his chest. He's got 3 points in 8 games. He's a -4 though. But then again, he's playing with Lucic, so that's going to hurt your plus-minus for sure. But no, I don't think he looks worse. I think he's. You still can't figure it out? Yeah, he was messaging me about this fellow was messaging me. I don't use Sports Select. I never use it. I haven't used it in a long time. And I said I was going to go to a 7-Eleven, and honestly, I completely forgot. I got to go into a 7-Eleven and check it out. I don't know what the difficulty is. And I suppose the person at the counter probably doesn't have a clue what to do. No, Tyler Bertuzzi can't play in Canada. So he won't be playing tonight, and neither will Larkin. So I imagine Grice will be in. I would figure it would be a low-scoring game, but I don't know if you can trust Allen right now the way he's playing to say that it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm thinking it'll probably be a low-scoring game, though. The Senators versus Wild, and the Senators looked really bad last night. They're on a back-to-back. Gustafson could save them tonight, and the Wild have not been playing overly that great, especially since Zuccarello left, got out of the lineup. But I think the Wild will probably take that game, I would have to think. No, they wouldn't have a clue, yeah. I looked at your thing, and honestly, I see what you mean, though. It's not like, it doesn't look like it's easy to figure out. I don't know why it's so complicated like that. It should be really simple. Here's the game, check it off. I don't remember. I think I played it a long time ago, but I don't ever remember it being like that. It's really weird. I'm kind of all over the place today. Is there something? Oh, yeah, one thing I noticed, that's another thing I didn't mention about the Edmonton Oilers. Their fourth line is a disaster. That fourth line is horrible. Jonathan Drouin could be traded at the deadline. It makes sense. Probably would be a good idea to get him in a different environment too. like a guy that's gone through depression and stuff like he has or whatever, and now he's stuck in that like it's kind of a cesspool of disappointment there. The Rangers have 6 assistant captains, and it's not working very well, is it? Apparently, Gallant got this idea from, he said he liked it when he was doing, like when Vegas first started, they named a whole bunch of assistants. And the reason why you do that is it's like a trial period to see who's going to, but at that time it was a trial period for a captain. Now it's just, I think it's overkill. It's sort of, I don't know what the logic is behind it. It'd be interesting to talk to him about it. But my title is who would be traded? Who could be traded? So we already brought up Drouin, and I think that's a good one. I think he could be traded. I think the Vancouver Canucks are in a difficult spot. I just have this sick feeling that they're going to trade Brock Besser, especially if they're out of the playoffs. Because next year, and that would be like, I think it would be a bad move no matter how you put it. But next year, what are they on the cap? They've only got $2.4 million as of right now on the cap next year. And I don't know who they would trade or what they would do to open up cap space. And like maybe find a home for Pearson, but he's got an NTC. Garland you just brought in. JT Miller. I think if they want to keep Besser, they have to trade. I think they have to trade JT Miller. So look for that as a possibility. But I heard rumblings that Besser may not want to stay in Vancouver. He might want to go to the United States. Really? Aho is an assistant for home games and Martinook while they're away. I would think Martinook is away because he's kind of a glue guy. Martinook is the kind of guy that keeps everybody together, lightens up a room when it needs to be lightened up, keeps people accountable, work like as far as what you do outside of the rink and on the road. That's huge. You got to have guys like that. Staying focused on the road because like you're away from family, you got millions of dollars, especially young players. It's pretty tempting to go out and meet some ladies or whatever, and that makes sense. He probably that's why he's there in that capacity. I didn't know that though, Lauren. I didn't know they had him as an assistant for on the road. That might be the first time I've ever heard of that, but I'm sure it's probably not the first time it's happened. The Rangers versus Canucks. That's going to be an interesting game because I don't know. I just have a feeling the Canucks might pull that one off. But Shesterkin's playing so well, I don't think I could ever put any. I don't think I could ever say a for sure on that. Shesterkin is stopping freaking everything right now. The Rangers play poor defensively. It don't matter. Shesterkin is insane. I as much as I like Anderson in Carolina, And everybody, I still say Shesterkin's the best goaltender at the moment, the way he's playing right now. Well, they say that it's not imminent. It's weird. I think there's a standoff there, and it sounds like the standoff for Eichel trade is that they don't want to give Krebs up in the deal. They don't want to give Krebs up in the deal. So that's what's making it difficult. And the Sabres don't want the deal unless they get Krebs. So now they got to, the Sabres are sitting there going, we know you need a number one center. I mean, right now you're using Howden in the number one. You're going for it right now, obviously. Vegas doesn't know how to do anything else but. There's not one team with too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. What do you mean by that, Lauren? Like, you're talking about one team that has, like, their two captain material guys or something like that, like leaders. Two teams. Possibly Boston, but their Indians are pretty. That's more the problem. There is their Indians are too weak. Hey Mercer, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. What do you got for us today? Are they ever gonna? Okay. Bernier is projected for the Devils tonight, and Gibson for the Ducks. Craig Anderson's going to play, and James Reimer is going to be in for San Jose, who's just beat up all the crap. Shesterkin is likely. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Dallas Stars and the Jets. Who do you pick on this one? Braden Holtby in net. Eric Comrie is going to be in net for the Jets. And he's never consistently played well in the NHL. Yeah, they had a lot of, how do you explain it? Egos, you mean? Like a lot of egos in the room? I think that's just because there's more teams now, and especially with Seattle. They could, but I mean, they have looked terrible so far. Dallas has really looked bad. Too many egos on one team. Maybe Dallas. Yeah, but not really, eh? I think Buffalo will probably win tonight. That San Jose team has just got so many people out of the lineup. That said, they won their last game with all those guys out of the lineup. Well, I think it's the system there. I thought the Rick Bowness project would work out okay, but I'm starting to wonder now. I have a feeling that between Bowness and Green, and I know, White Joe, I know what you're going to say. You want it to be Keith, but because Dallas is a team that doesn't sit around. So I don't know if they have a guy out there that they think that they can have this team play a more offensive brand of hockey, but Um, I don't even know if it's bonus the system. I like I said, I think it's just been ingrained in them so long that they don't know what to do anymore. Like they just can't seem to get it out of their system. That's a good question. It's going to be, I don't know. That's they don't have Burnett. It's Brunette, right? The guy that played for what was it, Minnesota? I think he played for Montreal. They got him giving him a shot, a young coach there. I think they're going to find somebody more experienced, but I think it hurts that they don't have Quinville. Yeah, I do. I don't know how much it's going to affect them. That's going to be interesting to see how much it affects them to have a different coach in that room. The good thing for them is they got tons of leadership. Well, yeah, they can survive on their power play, all right. That's for sure. I mean, you were playing Reinhardt as a third line right winger. The depth is insane. Barkov, Reinhardt, Huberto. I don't know. I would be interesting to see what Torts did with that team. I would love to see it because I know when he was in Tampa, like they didn't play a boring type of completely defensive game in Tampa. They played a fairly aggressive offensive game. The New York Rangers, they didn't play a boring trap type game. They did block a crazy amount of shots because he knew that he didn't have a high possession team. So he turned them into the best shot blocking team in that probably ever. I think it would be good for Tortorella to have a challenge like that to show, kind of, take the stigma off of him on his way out of his career that he was some guy that stagnated players. And if he was in Florida, he would get that opportunity to take a very offensive team that has tons of offense and show that like he's not going to stagnate a team that's built like that. He's going to totally change it. Yeah, I know. I don't know what to do with that game. Dallas can't score. Comrie's not great at stopping pucks, but Dallas can't score. Winnipeg is still without Scheifele and haven't looked really like they're knocking it out of the park since Scheifele has been out. And Holtby can really be bad. Sometimes Holtby can be horrible too. That's I probably would have to go with Randy Carlisle. I don't know if does he even want to come back as a coach. I haven't heard his name out there for a long time. I think Winnipeg will win that game. I would say Winnipeg will probably win that game. I think Dallas is in trouble. Their transition game is not very good. They're, again, second-guessing themselves offensively a lot. Yeah, I think anything could happen there. Yeah, Bonus has a temper, man. He'll go off. What about John Tortorella, Whitefield? I think it would be fun to see what he would do in Florida. I'm sure that they would be talking to Bobrovsky about what he thinks about it. I don't know, because they, and Nudavara, who's injured right now, was never a favorite of Tortorella's. So I don't think they take a young guy. It might be the only guy though. I don't know. I'll look something up here. I know one guy I'd like to see get another shot at it. No, David Quinn. Nah, he's too young. Rick Tockett's out there. What the hell? Why do I always forget his name? Bruce Boudreau. I'd like to see Bruce Boudreau get another chance at it. Yeah, well, he kind of did have that, and that's the reason why he first got so much notoriety. I mean, it wasn't as bad as Arizona. That Arizona team might be the worst team on paper I've seen in over a decade. Maybe the Anaheim Ducks when they first came in the league or something like that, but even he doesn't seem to fit well whenever they hire him as head coach. I wonder if Adam Oates is still out there willing to give it a shot. I don't know. But I think I'd like to see Bruce Boudreau get a shot. He's got this stigma that he can't win in the playoffs. That's the problem. And this would be an opportunity to get that off of his back. Because, I mean, when teams that played for him did really well. But I don't think he's like a genius coach or anything like that. But I think he'd be good enough. They're kind of limited in who they can look at right now because they got to take guys that are not in other organizations. Really, like you can't just grab an assistant that's ready from another team while the season is still going. They didn't see it coming, so Rick Tocchet would have to change his philosophy to be able to be a good fit there. I think. Who else is? Oh, yeah. But he's in Pittsburgh, or he's in St. Louis now. We were talking about him. We were talking about him yesterday. The coach that got fired for, was it Nashville? Was it Nashville? But he's in St. Louis right now as an assistant. I don't think that he would be right for him or they would allow him to go, any assistant coach to go in the middle of the season like this. Oh, there's a good one. Give Patrick Waugh a call. Yeah, give Patrick Waugh a call. See if he wants to coach. You got the thing, Mike Babcock. I don't know if he's going to get another shot. When you look at his whole body of work, was he really as good as people made him out to be? I'm not sure. He wasn't able to do it in Toronto, although I don't know if it was that much his fault. They had a different philosophy. He wasn't the right guy. They had a different philosophy of what to do. I think, yeah. So, but I'm trying to find some Bruce Boudreau, Babcock. I'm trying to find some other ones. Okay, here's the Seattle Kraken candidates. You had Bruce Boudreau. Of course, Gallant got picked up. Todd Nelson has been out there for a long time. No, Dan Bilesman, no. Mike Yeo, no. Jim Montgomery is a guy. If I could wrestle him from St. Louis, if I could wrestle Jim Montgomery from St. Louis, I'd give him a call up. I thought he did really good. Kevin Dineen, there's one. Oh no, he's Kevin Dineen, Kirk Muller. I don't know if he ever wants to coach again, but I mean, there's not much out there. There's not much out there to choose from, really. Datsuk needs to be called up. Play for Detroit. Yeah, you got no Larkin or Bertuzzi tonight. In tough. Fortunately, you're playing a poor team, but that's going to be a tough go without Larkin and Bertuzzi. Rasmussen's going to be the number one there. I don't know. Those are two. Mike Bossy. I don't know if Bossy coaching now? Messier wanted to give it a shot at one time, and nobody gave him a shot. So he's doing television now. Messier wanted to give it a shot. But I like Patrick Waugh. That would be freaking awesome. I'd love to see Patrick Waugh back in the league again. He's such a fiery guy, just for the entertainment value alone. Yeah, I have a feeling. I think I remembered something or read something, and Langway as well. Both of them said that they didn't like being a head coach after all. They liked being assistant. Is Datsuk still playing in Europe now, Doug? Is he still playing to this day? Let me check. I guess I can ask. I guess I can check. Oh yeah, you can't have Waugh and Torts there at the same time. That's for sure. No, I don't. Yeah, no, definitely not. No, he played last year, but he doesn't look like he's playing this year. Datsuk had. It looks like he retired. Maybe he's not. It doesn't look like he's playing this year. He had 35 points in 51 games last year. How old is he? 43 years old, and he had 35 points in the KHL in 51 games. That is no. People don't talk about that. Wow, that's incredible. That talk about a guy that played all through the clutch and grab years and doesn't get enough credit for how many points he put up. At that time, if you were a point player, you were almost a superstar. No, Gretzky can't coach. Gretzky said it himself. Gretzky actually he wanted to try being a general manager and coach so bad. He did those Tylenol commercials to make enough money to buy into the Arizona Coyotes so he could be a general manager and a coach. And he was terrible. And that's his words. His words, he said he was a terrible coach. Yeah, he gave it a shot, and good for him for trying something that he always wanted to try. But he said he was just terrible at it. He wasn't very good. Well, he had this idea that you could bring young players in and just play them right away and teach them how to play. Like, he killed a few guys' careers almost because they played them right out of, like, late first-round picks and stuff. He had it in his head that because he could do it, so he thought he could teach other players to have the right mind and do and everything to be yeah, he's too analytical. But it didn't work out well. It didn't work out well. Oh, I had a job, the job that I hated, that I actually lasted a year in and shouldn't have lasted more than like you did, a couple days in that job, is I was a rig worker. I worked on the rigs. That was a horrible job. I hated that. I hated every single moment of that job. And I did it for a freaking year. That is the stupidest thing. Why would I do that for a year? So I tell my kids now, man, you find something you love and do it. Don't settle for anything less. Give Ron Wilson a call. Ron Wilson would probably lose his mind. Just imagine if you called Ron Wilson right now. He would be all over it, man. He would be talking. He would be in his car talking to you on the way to the plane. Like, you wouldn't even have to talk numbers with him. I'm sure Ron Wilson. I bet you Ron Wilson sits in the clubhouse of golf courses all over the world telling him about his coaching years over and over and over again. That guy was such a jerk. Oh my gosh, he was terrible. Every single coaching job he had, he lost his team because he lied. He would lie about stuff that was happening to motivate them, like things that happened that are going on that are not going on, to motivate them. It was terrible. And he got caught in the lie all the time. In Toronto yet. Like, you're not going to get caught in Toronto doing stuff like that. Yeah, what Gretzky's doing now, I really like, and I've heard some people say that, he's not assertive enough or something like that. Like, I like that what he does, that show that he does. They kind of joke around with each other. I didn't realize he had such a good sense of humor that he does. He's got a killer sense of humor, man. I don't know what Barry, yeah, he wasn't even that great in the old NHL. That's why Ron Wilson, are you asking a question or making a statement? That's what I heard. I shouldn't say that as a truth, but when it follows you around everywhere you go, where did Ron Wilson coach? Did he coach the Rangers? I remember Toronto, but not was it not Ron Wilson? Yeah, it is Ron Wilson. Oh yeah, he coached in Anaheim, San Jose. Washington, and Vancouver. He was an assistant in Vancouver, got hired by Anaheim. He never made it past round 3 of the playoffs. But he coached. How come they don't have his full numbers here? That's weird. Huh. San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks, yeah. Yeah, and everybody, all the players I heard talk about Ron Wilson, they might have been polite about it, but I didn't hear too many people have like glowing reviews of Ron Wilson. Ron Wilson was a blowhard, and he was able to convince owners that he was the best. Like, he was a great salesperson for himself. He was a great salesperson for himself, and a lot of owners bought it. I don't know what, yeah, Mike Keenan probably wouldn't do well in this NHL now. Mike Keenan had a good hockey mind, but he was just too nitpicky, from what I understand. Like, he would do the weirdest things. The one thing I did like about Mike Keenan, his main philosophy, I remember hearing him talk about it. His main philosophy was that it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it. So what Mike Keenan would do throughout the season is he would put players in bad situations and do things to see how they react to it. Like stuff that looked like real dickish things to do, like prick moves, like if a team is, if a goaltender was going to go for a award or something like that, or he wouldn't let them play in front of their hometown crowd and stuff like that. Hey, how you doing, Rickett? He wouldn't let them play in front of their hometown crowd. And, you know, people, they would get pissed off and stuff like that. And he would sort of like judge how they reacted to it and how they handled it and what they did, like the way the decisions they made and stuff like that. Like, he knew how to needle guys, and he wanted them to be able to react to it, because in his mind, that when playoffs happen, there's going to be things that happen out of your control, and we need you. And he wanted players that were able to focus on the game and hockey, regardless of all of that garbage. So he created that garbage on purpose during the season for him to be able to assess where that player is at and be able to tell him, like, so what if I did that? What does that matter if I did that? Your job is to go out there and win when you got to win. Your job is not to impress your family or whatever the case may be. Your job is out. This is a team first thing, and, you know, all that kind of stuff like that. And I don't know if it's the best way, but there's players that said that they love playing for Mike Keenan, and then there's players that said otherwise. I never heard one player say they love playing for Babcock, though. Not one. Or Dan Bilesma. Never heard one player say they love playing for Dan Bilesma. Give Crawford a call. I don't know. I think that's a guy maybe where the game has kind of passed him by a little bit. But, you know, I said that about Sutter, and look at how great he was, so. But I think Tortorella might be the only guy available. I'm pretty sure he'd be all over it if he had the chance. Now, Zito knows Tortorella really well. So it's going to be interesting to see if he even gets a look. Because, I mean, Zito was the assistant manager in Columbus, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if he even gets a look. And if he doesn't, what does that tell you? kind of, you know what I mean? All he learned from the master went in here and went out the other. I don't know. I kind of bought the Babcock thing back in the day too. But the more I look back on his career, the more I think it was overblown. To me, he just sounds like a blowhard. It's another like a Wilson, just a blowhard that likes to toot his own horn and stuff like that. I listened to him do the sports ESPN or whatever he does, and like he sounds like he's got a good head on his shoulders, but I don't know. Yeah, I think he was kind of overblown for sure, and especially to have like a master like you said, Bowman. Bowman is probably the greatest mind ever in hockey. Maybe only to be another Detroit guy, Stevie Eiserman, might be able to knock him off that pedestal. But he's got to take. It's going to be a while before you can say that. I think. Mark Crawford is he in Chicago now? Where is Mark Crawford? Oh no, he stepped away too. Oh yeah, that was something different though. Where is he now? Is he anywhere right now? No, he's nowhere right now. Whatever that misconduct was, I don't know. Might not be very good optics. Hey, Joe Flyers. Welcome, buddy. Woo, welcome to the land. No, he's not. He retired from his. He left his post after the. What was it? After the Babcock thing, something happened in Chicago and he stepped down too. I think Jeremy Colleton is brilliant, but I think I think he's a brilliant coach. I really do. I know people don't think so right now because Chicago's not doing very well, but I mean, he almost brought that freaking team to the playoffs last year. That was a lot of rallying going on behind a whole lot of things that happened. I think he's a very good coach. He's been put in some crazy difficult situations in Chicago, and now this situation that's going on right now. But Florida hiring Crawford, I don't know if they want to hire somebody right now that has previous character issues. It just doesn't paint a good picture after why Quinville left. So, and that might be the same reason why you wouldn't go for a guy like Montgomery. Although he went to rehab and, he admitted he had a problem and he seems to be doing fine in St. Louis. I thought Montgomery was an awesome coach. And I think he would be a guy that I would like. Jeremy Collins from Toronto, some guy from Toronto. Jeremy Colleton, is that what you're asking? I don't think he's going to get fired. I think they know what they got there in Jeremy Colleton in Chicago. It's just been a brutal situation. Things will turn around. Fleury looks really good right now, so I think the biggest shakeup, well, I don't know if it'll happen, but it probably should happen, will be the Vancouver Canucks. I think it's possible that things hit the fan this year with Vancouver. They're capped out. They can't sign Brock Besser. Brock Besser isn't even playing all that well. I wouldn't trust Benning to trade Brock Besser if that's what has to happen. I could see Green and Benning gone and a whole new regime there in Vancouver. If they are out, especially if they are completely out of the playoffs, if it looks like they're going to be completely out of the playoffs there. That lineup, the defense is just not good enough. The money they've spent on players to bring in is ineffective. Like, I think so. I think he may. I don't even know if it's really his fault. I don't know if there's really too much any team could do with that roster right now. They're too small where they need, like, their big players don't play like big players. Their small players play like big players. But they get, they can only do so much, and they're going to tire out over a season without anybody backing them up. Their defense is too soft. They got Demko. Demko is the only saving grace they really have there overall. You're not seeing all that much progression out of Hughes right now. Yeah, that team needs Tyler Myers. It's bad for what he's getting paid. Tyler Myers should be at best a 4-5 defenseman, not even, maybe a 5-6. He shouldn't be making more like. He should be getting paid like Edmondson or somebody like that, $3 to $3.5 million, and play in the lower lines. He can't compete defensively with the top players in the game. And then you got Larson, who I think was just lost in the doldrums, and now he has to be the guy again in Vancouver. And I just don't think he's the guy anymore. He's not a guy to be the guy anymore, especially with that lineup. So it's a poorly constructed lineup. And this year, I think, is going to be the year where things kind of hit the fan. And they're going to try to bring in somebody that can rectify it and move on real quick, because that fan base won't accept a rebuild again now. You got too many good pieces there, too. You got Horvat, Peterson. I like the Garland pickup, but they need some size up front. They need guys that can play two ways. They need defensemen that can play two ways. Tucker Poolman for $3.5 million. A general manager should be fired just for that contract alone. That is absolutely horrible. He's not even a top 7 defenseman in this league. The only place he's a top 7 defenseman is maybe Arizona. Now, I think AV's good. Nothing wrong with AV. That team's got moving in the right direction. It seems that they had a really good connection there so far with Jones, with that coach that he played for in the AHL. It seems to have worked well. Carter Hart looks good. I'm not sure I agree with all the pieces they put together there, but except for Ellis. But the problem with Ellis, and I think the reason why Nashville traded him, is as well as he looks like he could have an injury-riddled future. He came back off of I think it was a knee injury, and he hadn't been the same. And that's usually a sign that there's going to be some pretty good regression. So that could be dangerous. Ristolainen, I don't know what they're going to do with Ristolainen. He's getting like almost $6 million a year, and they have to give him a qualifying offer at over that. And so far this year, he looks like a 5'6", maybe at best. He looks like a 5'6" at best. Now, that being said, that can change. He was poorly developed in Buffalo, so they're going to give it time. You got to give it time, but it just looks like a guy that's got so far to go now, and he's at an age where I don't know what it is, but it's really difficult to get things that are set into you to remove those things later on. That's why it's so important to be developed between 19 and 24 for defensemen, because once you're past that, you don't really get, like, he'll never be what he could have been. He could have been a stud defenseman, but they played him too soon in Buffalo. Then he got beat up in his role. He got confused, lost confidence. He pinched when he wasn't supposed to. He's like, the guy's like a bull in a, like, you heard that thing, the bull moose in a China shop. He's going to crush everything he hits, but he puts himself he's going to destroy everything while he's doing it, like for his own team. And the good thing about it they got him playing simple. They're telling him, don't bother rushing the puck, just get it out of the zone. So over time, they just might turn him into a kind of shutdown-ish type defenseman. And if he does, then he could be really great. He's got a huge shot off the point. Like, there's so much to love about the guy, tools-wise. Ellis week to week now, yeah. Scary. With the injury issues he already had, and now he's week to week. And I don't think they're even telling us what it is specifically. Philadelphia. Like, Chuck Fletcher made some, like, Cam Atkinson trade, obviously, so far has been fantastic. What is it, Ellis? Week to week, and now it's day to day. It says day to day, but yeah, he's been out a long time. This is a lot of days to be day to day on. Oh, shoot. Well, it still says day to day on Cap Friendly, but that's not good. Yeah. Well, it was the risk you were taking by getting Ellis, because the injury he had, there was a pretty good chance it was going to be, some decline there for him. How is Luke Hughes doing? That's a good question. Why don't we check it out? New Jersey Devils. He's also at Michigan. He's got 7 points in 8 games. Not bad. That's pretty good in the NCAA. If you can put a point a game up as a defenseman in the NCAA, you're doing pretty good, especially if you're young. Yeah, Ellis had a pretty bad injury in Nashville, and when he came back, it was I can't remember if it was, I want to say it was a knee injury. Let's see if I can find it. You guys are making me work today. Oh yeah, it is 23 minutes ago said he's week to week now. Wow, just happened right away. Wow. No, it was an upper body injury, but it doesn't say what. And this is a lower body injury, so I guess the good thing is it's but then that was back then they were saying that things were upper body when they were lower body when they were upper body, so it's hard to say. Yeah, Braun is playing very well. Well, you could have asked for a better time. He could have did it last year. That would have been a pretty good time too. But I suppose because this year better late than never, I guess. Because yeah, he had a terrible year last year, but he's looking really good this year. Fairly surprisingly, but I think it's fairly surprising. I didn't see that coming. I wouldn't have said, "Oh, Braun's going to have a good year this year." I never thought that. It was a knee injury. Yeah, it's weird because it said I looked up like past uh, articles on it, and it said that it was an upper body injury. But back then they did that. They would say, I don't know, maybe they still do it. Tell you it's in a lower body when it's an upper body or whatever. Hey, how you doing? This is this is unhockey related, but Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs is charged with drinking and driving resulting in death from the Steelers. Wow, that is terrible. I would say Cider. Cider would be my guy. All right, Pearlo dance. Cider would be my guy. Cider has played amazing. He's playing like 22 minutes a game. Raymond has played well, but Maurice Cider, I should have known because Stevie Y never plays young players like that, like never, unless he's like absolutely sure. So I should have known. I should have had him higher on my chances of winning the Calder. Jacob Silverberg is out. It's going to be rough. I think that's why I'm kind of going with New Jersey tonight. I haven't put it in yet, but I think that with Bernier being in, I'm going to go with my guy. I'm going to go with my guy, Bernier. Make sure you're slamming that like button out there, guys. Let's get people need to know this. People need to know this, be in this environment. They haven't experienced the complete frolic of life yet, like you guys have. So share the wealth. Get more, send it out there to everybody. Yeah, Jacob Silverberg is out. They got a few guys out. Oh, Raquel is out. They got a lot of guys. Not much scoring left in that lineup now. They're relying on very young players. Duran said, yeah, he never wanted to leave there when he was young. He'll go have fun. Yeah. Yeah, Duran used to, like, Duran was a pretty insecure kid. And, you know, that's really where it all stems from. Max Jones is out. That's pretty cool that he said that, though. And Cole Caulfield seems like a guy that takes things in stride, so I don't think he'll take that all that bad. He'll probably just go down there and crush it. It's going to be interesting to see what he does down there. He'll probably play about 5 or 6 games, and then they'll get a call saying, this kid's too good for here. You can't keep him down here. But he looked like he lacked confidence this year. I think he was putting too much pressure on himself. With everybody out, he had to be the guy. I mean, that's a lot to ask for a kid his age. It's one thing for a young guy to play on a team that's like Boston or something like that has tons of veteran leadership, and you don't have to be the guy. You just go out and play. But in Montreal, to put all that pressure, to have all that pressure, not too many guys can handle that at a young age. He'll probably crush it in the AHL, though. I think Anaheim's a lot further ahead than I thought that they would be, though. I don't think they're too far away. Would I rather be? No, I'd rather be a GM. You make more money. Actually, you make enough money as an assistant GM. I'll be assistant GM with Stevie Y. Then you don't have to work as hard. Those guys work their butt off. Oh, really? For Carolina? Why? I get this funny feeling that the Philadelphia Flyers could lose tonight. It's just I can't. It would be a brutal loss, but oh, okay, just off. It's a pain to watch who's on or off the protocol. Would I be a head coach in the NHL? I don't know. I'd have to do coaching. Like I don't know if I got the work ethic to be a coach in the NHL or a general manager for that matter. Because you got to remember, the general manager just doesn't take care of like roster stuff. They take care of a whole wide variety of things. They got to make sure that they got the medical staff, and they got the they got everything that is a staff that they take care of. Advertising, all that kind of stuff like that. They have their hand in there. Flyers loss would be devastating to the world, Rickett. It'd be devastating to the world. It's just the Flyers just got off that Western road trip, and it's their first game back off that trip, and that's usually not a good thing. You know, but I just think that Arizona lineup is too depleted. Oh, yeah, talk about that while I'm talking to you guys. I got to put something in here. I can't see Arizona being able to score enough. And the Flyers, like, you got a guy like Atkinson. Atkins should be able to eat them alive. Even if they come out weak to begin with, they should still be okay. Well, the GMs work with a lot of, they got the scouting staff. They have all of that they have to work with. And right on him, the GM of the Coyotes. And I drafted Savoy, Bedard, traded for Aho. What did you trade for Aho? This is obviously an NHL something video game. NHL 22. What did you give up for Aho on NHL 22? Younger guys on ELC. Okay, so probably guys that are like made up guys and stuff like that. That's why I didn't like doing that NHL thing. You got a bunch of guys that are made up. Oh, really? So what would you do if you were a GM, Lauren? Say you got Seattle. He signed Pasta as a free agent. He became a free agent. Wow. Oh, okay. So the prospects are actual prospects that are out there right now? Arizona will win the lottery. Well, they're going to get at least a top 2 pick. And right now there's several players that could be. So they could win the lottery. Right now, I think it would be between them and Chicago. Bring out the Panzers. What's a Panzer? Forgive me if I don't know what a Panzer is. You would tank? Well, I mean, it depends on what team you are. Like if you're Carolina, you're going to tank. There's no need to do that. They got guys that are. I'm not sure that these, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not sure these guys this year are going to be like superstars. Next year for sure. But, well, does it look like the Buffalo Sabres are going to win the lottery? They're playing super well. I imagine they'll fall off somewhere along the line here, but if they make that Eichel deal like they're talking about with Vegas and they get Carlson, Krebs and whatever there, I mean, now all of a sudden you got not really a true number one center, but you're pretty stacked up the middle all of a sudden. You got Krebs is playing really well in Vegas. Who knows? I mean, if Anderson can keep it up at 40 years old, because, I mean, Tokarski's not a guy that you want to be playing that many minutes, but they're doing it on the road right now. Granato seems to consistently be getting the best out of his players every night. Let's see your latest comment. This is called FHM8. It's $30, but it really... Oh, cool. I wish I had time to play stuff like that. That'd be awesome. Well, you can't make sure you got Shane Wright. It's a 50-50 coin. So you get Shane Wright, or I think at this point, now you're going to make me look up that draft again. How come it's not showing the mock draft? Oh, it's not. Yeah. Oh, they're updating the mock draft? They must be updating the mock draft. I can't see it now. Shoot. Hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. Okay, let's see if they got him. Oh, that's it. David Juracek. David Juracek from Czechoslovakia. At this point, I actually think he's the best prospect in this draft. But you got Brad Lambert, Shane Wright. Still, they have Lambert as the second. Montreal, if they keep on losing. If I was a prospect, I'd be hoping that I don't have to go to Montreal. They've just shown over and over and over again they're poor at developing prospects. So I would be hoping that I wouldn't have to go to Montreal. Yeah, I want to see what those draft odds are. Oh, let me see. They got, okay, that's right, Tankathon. I haven't did Tankathon once this year. Okay, so they got Wright, Miroshnichenko, Lambert, Savoy, Nemechek. Nemechek. That's the guy I'm talking about. Not Juracek. Nemec. Simone Nemec. I guess he's just eating up the Czech Republic right now. Now, let me see if we sim lottery. So the two... So you can still win. You can still come up to second from... I just did a simmed lottery, and the Dallas Stars got Shane Wright. Ottawa came in second. And then Arizona dropped to third. So Arizona can still drop to third. And they would get Brad Lambert. I would tell you, everybody would be like taking a deep sigh of relief, except for Brad Lambert, assuming that's who it was. So yeah, number 9 can still win. The next time I did it, Vegas got it. Oh my gosh, that would be huge for them to get Shane Wright. A center would save their ass. I just don't think they're going to be there, but Lafreniere or Raymond, two different types of players. There are two different types of players. Pure skill-wise, I would say Raymond. Raymond's a lot like Mitch Marner. Well, I don't know if the Ottawa Senators are purposely tanking, but going by the depth on this team, I can't see them doing very much this year. Yeah, they're trying hard, but the whole Tkachuk situation kind of put them behind. And you never know. The second half last year is where they really started getting going, and they had a pretty good winning record in the second half. But in an 82 game schedule, you don't want to be getting behind. And right now, from what I see from them, there's a lot of things that have to change. They need a second line center or something fierce if they want to have any chance of making it at all in that division. And I have a feeling they've just decided they're not going to be able to do it. Like they're not going to go out and give draft picks and stuff like that to get a second line center. They'll just wait for Pinto to come back, and they don't have many guys that they can trade for picks now, though. They're pretty much all gone. So one more year it is in Ottawa. And I don't know, what's their prospect pool like? They got Sanderson coming up. He might be ready next year. Brandstrom isn't very happy. They're probably going to have to trade him away. I was surprised that, I thought Bernard Docker might play this year. Wonder what he's doing. How many games have they played there in the AHL? He's in the AHL now. He's only had 2 goals. I guess he was never really an offensive guy, though. They got Boucher, who I don't know how he's going to do. I think, from what I heard, he's crushing it. No, he's not. 2 points in 8 games in Boston University, so that's not a good sign. Yeah, Lassie Thompson has been kind of, I don't know, he's right on the verge of maybe never making it. He's in. Oh God. Oh Bell. Oh, he's in Belleville. He only got 2 assists in 18 games in Finland last year. He's got 1 goal so far in 4 games for Belleville. Yeah, I think they might have made a mistake with Boucher. He's a fourth liner. It seems like a fourth liner at best. I don't know why they went off the board to get that. I know they need those kind of guys, and like you need those kind of guys, but you can get them later. He's only 18 years old. It's only 8 games, but it doesn't look good. 2 points in 8 games and a -6 to start off. What's Jake Sanderson doing? Jake Sanderson's a point a game this year so far, and so that's good. And Kyler Clevin is on the same team. He's only got 2 points though. He's 6'4". I think he's more of a shutdown guy anyways. But for all the draft picks they have, there's nobody like, I don't know. There could be some of these later picks that do well. But I don't see anybody really knocking on the door besides Sanderson to take a spot. Who's this Jonathan Chonich? Not doing much in Nebraska. Not that big. So, you know, it's hard to say though because I don't get to see them play, but. Oh. Yeah, I don't see Lossie Thompson. I don't know what he's going to be like, but he's to only put 2 points last year in 14 games in the Finnish league doesn't bode very well, I would say. Oh, breaking news. Wow, right before my program ends, breaking news. I may have to stay a little later then and talk about this. Okay, well, what's the breaking news, dude? You're going to keep on saying it over and over again. Keep us on the edge of our seats. Seattle Kraken activate Chris Driedger. That the breaking news? Probably not. That's all they got on Pro Hockey Rumors. Oh no. Oh no. No more lawsuits. Jeez. Oh, like the NHL needs this right now. They just got the ESPN contract, and now we're looking like a clown show. My gosh. Lawsuit? Oh no, another sexual assault thing? Oh my gosh. Filed against Bill Guerin. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just imagine. Oh, wow. So a person sees this and then decides they're going to do it too. That's what that might not be the case, but the timing here is not very good for the person accusing. I'm not saying it didn't happen. No way. No way I'm saying this didn't happen. I'm just saying that the timing almost goes against them in their favor, or it goes against them. Yeah, but the timing of this after that, it's like almost looks bad for the person accusing, and assuming this happened, and very seldom do people make accusations that didn't happen. I would say it's like difficult. It puts them kind of behind the eight ball a little bit, because I hate to say this, but it looks like Beach has decided that the way he wants to be, way he wants to get justice is in a civil suit financially, which I don't bemoan him for. That's what you do. But so you have this person who's having a civil suit, and now this comes out now. On the same note, maybe it's the best time to do it. I don't know. Yeah, Garen, I don't know. Like, he's being accused of sexual assault now as well. Oh man. Oh, the league is like, this is going to turn this league upside down. How many more of these things will come out? Remember when that happened with Babcock? It wasn't long after that the Crawford incident came out. What the Calgary issue? No, it was the Calgary issue first. Then it went to Toronto with Babcock, that Babcock thing. So apparently a lady said that she was sexually assaulted by Garen and possibly more members of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Mary Lemieux and them covered it up somehow or whatever. So if I was them, now the problem here is, was there an accusation and did they go to the league about it? Right? And if they didn't tell the league about it, you're going to have the same consequences probably. That's the real issue, is they didn't go to the league about it. Good, buddy. Unfortunately, I got to cut her off here now, though. You came in a little late, Marcus. I got to get going. I got to pick up the little lady. I don't know when Weichel will go. Apparently it's on the verge of happening in Vegas, but they're holding out for some pieces that I think. Okay, here's my thing. I think that, and I'll say this and then I'll go. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a three-way trade with Calgary. I haven't wrapped my head around what it's going to look like yet, but I think there's a piece missing, and Calgary's going to be in there and grab something too. That's my inkling here, because there's pieces that they like from Calgary, maybe like Connor Zary. So, like Connor Zary will go to Buffalo. But I wouldn't think that Calgary would trade Connor Zary without getting Eichel in return. So that's going to be interesting to see. Anyways, I got to go, guys. Thank you very much for coming in. It's awesome having you. Come again tomorrow, 3 to 5 Eastern. I will be here. See you, Lauren, Marcus, Hockey News Reports, Mercer, everybody in the chat there. Thank you very much. Okay, have a good day. That's my full 42. Okay, bye. One last Pearlo dance. Okay, go watch. I'll Pearlo dance, but go watch my last video. My last video was on the games from last night. Take care, everybody. Okay, bye.